Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this episode of Super TV Analysis, we'll examine the literary use of a Christ figure in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The Season 3 finale had left audiences reeling. It delivered on its promise of an agent's death. It neatly wrapped up the Hive story arc, and it fully realized the themes it had been developing throughout the season. I want to talk about one of those themes in this video, and yes, there will be spoilers. The idea of faith reared its head prominently in many places this season. Its culmination in the Quinjet with Lincoln and Hive waiting for death is the perfect use of an often poorly executed literary technique. Let's first take a moment to define what I mean by Christ figure. Technically, any character that parallels the prophetic, spiritual, and usually sacrificial aspect of Jesus is considered a Christ figure. The key here is that the character parallels, not just symbolically stands in for. The role in the character should be organic. Christ figures are often themselves redeemed in the end, invoking the religious understanding of Jesus' function rather than a simple mimesis, or imitation of the Christ plot. Let me illustrate with an example. The character of Jim Casey from John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath is a classic example of a Christ figure. He's a preacher who has lost his religion, but finds the same fervor once more in the cause of social justice. He's redeemed in the interest he takes again in his fellow man, before he's sacrificed for their cause. The sacrifice is the ultimate point in his redemption. On the other hand, critics since day one have pointed out the overuse of heavy Christ imagery in Man of Steel. The symbolism joins with the weight of an impending sacrifice which bogs down the pacing and in the end never comes to fruition. The point is that anyone can show religious symbols and pose actors in a crucifix. But the use of a Christ figure in a story must be earned by the story. This is exactly what Season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does with the character of Lincoln. All of the other pieces have been laid, including the foundation within his own character, before the audience figures out that he's the one who will sacrifice and thereby redeem himself. So let's take a look at how they achieved this technique and what it added to the story. In that final moment, with Lincoln and Hive floating in space before the explosion, we have a picture of the devil and our Christ figure regarding the earth. Each sought to save it through a kind of connection, but only one was victorious. At this point, the appearance and nature of their characters falls into place. Actor Brett Dalton's dark hair and piercing black eyes were perfect for the traitorous Agent Ward, and he enhanced the look by losing weight for the role once Ward was possessed by Hive. The sallow face and long coat like a cloak give him the look of a Lucifer from a Renaissance sculpture. Suddenly, many of Lincoln's physical features as a Christ figure that were there from the start begin to make sense as well. The increasing beard and blue eyes resemble a Peter Paul Rubens. His side is wounded, like Christ's flesh pierced with a Roman spear. He is a doctor, a healer. His power is to shoot electricity like lightning from heaven, whereas Hive emits decaying parasites, returning bodies to the earth. These symbols can enhance the arcs of both characters subtly, and come to full force in the end because Yo-Yo's crucifix is the symbol in the forefront. Multitasking is an indication of who will fulfill Daisy's vision. Now let's explore the nature of the salvation our Christ figure and devil figure attempt to carry out. Hive repeatedly uses the word connection to describe his sway over Inhumans. He wants them connected to each other in their brain chemistry's dependence on him. Connection, a determined place in the world, is part of the original Kree design for Inhumans, and meets characters like Daisy at their core insecurity. But Hive doesn't want to stop at Inhumans. He wants to remake the entire world in that model, turning humans into Inhumans so that his sway will work. But his motives are not so altruistic as he would have us believe, for when he realizes he can achieve the same kind of dominance by turning humans into primitives rather than Inhumans, he moves ahead with that plan. Daisy, however, isn't the only one with a longing for place at her character's core. After the fall of Jiaying and Afterlife, Lincoln is left without a place as well. What he believed about the destiny of Inhumans was proven false. Lash attacks him publicly, forcing him to reveal himself and lose the life he'd made as a doctor. He flees to S.H.I.E.L.D., but is never a comfortable fit. And Daisy, the only person who makes him feel as though he belongs, is taken from him by Hive. Throughout this search for place, the audience learns of Lincoln's alcoholism, anger issues, problems with authority, and so on. Lincoln longs for purpose, but only finds emptiness while focusing on his need. Only when he lays his life down for Daisy and the world does he find his place as the one who saves them. One more connection remains for both Hive and Lincoln in the end. As they float there in the Quinjet, waiting for the warhead to detonate, they do not attack each other, debate each other, or resent each other. With a strangely beautiful peace, Hive and Lincoln, Devil and Christ figure, accept each other. They accept their roles in each other's lives and the fate they've created for themselves. They find connection to each other, as Hive describes, in death. As a Christ figure then, Lincoln saves the world, redeems himself and the devil, all before the fade to black. Not too shabby for a Christ figure who isn't revealed until the final scene. Lincoln's sacrifice puts the story arc into perspective. If the first 2 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were about clinging to core beliefs as the world falls down around us, then we can now look back on Season 3 as deepening the conversation about free will and destiny, about our responsibilities to ourselves as individuals and to each other as a whole. The skillful use of a Christ figure unpacks these themes and leads us into the discussion. Let me know in the comments, what other Christ or religious imagery did you see? If you like this video, click like and subscribe, and please share with friends and other fans. New content comes every Wednesday and most weekends. So until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the superhero stories you love. Thanks for watching.